Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys news: Trey Lance could push Cooper Rush at backup quarterback. There's a chance the Dallas Cowboys could go with Trey Lance over Cooper Rush. Mickey Spagnola: that would be premature to suggest heading into training camp. That's what we go to camp to find out. Really, all we know about Lance is his name and first-round draft status, number 3 overall in 2021. And that's all the Cowboys know firsthand, too, other than his workouts and mostly scout team reps last year. They will first give him every opportunity during camp practices and in at least 2 if not all 3 preseason games to prove he is worth keeping as at least the future backup. Remember, Lance is in the final year of his contract, as are Dak Prescott and Rush. And let's also remember Coop has far more experience than Lance, who would have to gain enough trust to overtake Rush, 5-1 as a starter, this season. Looking forward to seeing what Lance can do once actually playing in games, since he's appeared in only 8 NFL games, starting 4, and not since September 18, 2022, all with the Niners over 2 seasons. Patrick Walker: 2 things are true here. Yes, it's possible for the former 3rd overall pick to beat out Cooper Rush in training camp and the preseason. It's also not going to be anything near easy for him to achieve that goal. Lance shows a lot of promise and is developing very nicely under McCarthy, and a full offseason should pay dividends in July and August, but Rush has never been an easy out, and he is not only one of the better backups in the league, but his familiarity with McCarthy, Dak Prescott, the receivers, and the entire offense plays largely in his favor. This is a matchup that is probably top 3 in ones to watch in Oxnard, because it's the youth and upside of Lance versus the experience and proven ability of Rush. Hold on to your butts, folks. Nick Eatman: this is one of those "I'll believe it when I see it" situations. Sure, Lance is supposed to beat out Cooper Rush for the backup job here in his 4th pro season. But he's also supposed to be the 49ers starting quarterback, and that didn't happen either. I think I'd be surprised if Lance was actually better than Rush when we're done with camp and preseason. That doesn't mean the Cowboys wouldn't make him the backup, because it seems as if they'd want it to play out that way. But Rush has been better in the brief things we've seen in the offseason. Rush has a good command of what the Cowboys are trying to do schematically, and let's face it, Rush has been better than Lance, and a lot of quarterbacks, when he's been asked to play. I think if it's a fair competition, I can see Rush still being the number 2 quarterback heading into the season. Execs, coaches, scouts rank the NFL's top 10 WRs for 2024. With 2024 NFL training camps on the horizon, it is again time for the league's true insiders to make their voices heard. ESPN surveyed league executives, coaches and scouts to help us rank the top 10 players at 11 different positions, from quarterback to cornerback and all positions in between. This is the 5th edition of these rankings, and as usual, several players have moved up or fallen off last year's lists. Each section includes quotes and nuggets from the voters on every ranked player, even the honorable mentions. The objective is to identify the best players right now for 2024. This is not a 5-year projection or a career achievement award. Who are the best players today? We will roll out a position per day over 11 days. The schedule: running backs, July 8th, defensive tackles, July 9th, edge rushers, July 10th, safeties, July 11th, tight ends, July 12th, interior offensive linemen, July 13th, offensive tackles, July 14th, quarterbacks, July 15th, off-ball linebackers, July 16th, wide receivers, July 17th, cornerbacks, July 18th. The competition at wide receiver knows no rival. The NFL's deepest position breeds new stars every year. Greatness can come from anywhere. This year's top 10 features a bevy of former first-rounders and 3 gems from the 4th and 5th rounds of years past. Putting up 1,000 yards isn't enough to crack the elite. 27 different receivers surpassed that threshold just last season. Fittingly, 28 players earned at least one vote from league scouts, execs and coaches in this year's top 10 wide receivers, which featured a cheetah racing for the top spot. In fact, 1,400 yards might not get you in the honorable mention on this list, which left out plenty of big money stars. Let's look at some of the game's top wideouts as ranked by sources around the NFL. Cowboys predicted to land powerful 17 TD running back. The Dallas Cowboys remained mostly quiet this offseason in addressing the running back position. Dallas brought back Ezekiel Elliott while allowing Tony Pollard to join the Tennessee Titans in NFL free agency. All this has prompted speculation that the Cowboys could take a running back early in the 2025 NFL Draft. Pro Football Network's Owain Jones projects the Cowboys will take Ohio State Buckeyes running back Quinson Judkins with the number 23 pick in his early 2025 mock draft. The draft order is based on the latest Super Bowl odds. Quinson Judkins exploded onto the college football scene as a freshman and has been one of the top running backs in the country over the last 2 seasons, racking up 3,006 scrimmage yards and 34 scrimmage touchdowns, Jones detailed in a July 13, 2024, story titled, Owain Jones 2025 NFL Mock Draft, James Pierce Jr. Headlines Exciting Defensive Class, Travis Hunter goes before Carson Beck. A powerful rusher with sharp acceleration and long speed, the Ohio State transfer has the contact balance to fight through contact while having the vision to eat open space. Judkins has the profile to be a featured back in the NFL and has the resume to be a first-round selection. Judkins began his collegiate career at Ole Miss before joining a loaded Ohio State running back room this offseason. The playmaker posted back-to-back seasons, topping 1,000 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns with the Rebels. Judkins' best season came in 2022 when the rusher notched 274 carries for 1,567 yards and 16 touchdowns. Last season, Judkins posted 271 carries for 1,158 yards and 15 touchdowns in 13 appearances. Judkins also added 22 receptions for 149 yards and 2 TDs through air. It will be worth watching to see how Judkins produces in the Ohio State offense. Pro Football Network's mock draft has Judkins as the lone running back selected in the first round. Additional options for the Cowboys could include Oklahoma State star Ollie Gordon, Boise State's Ashton Jeanty, and Judkins' Ohio State teammate Travion Henderson. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Quinson Judkins? Leave your opinion in the comments.